right, gentlemen, so as you come in the classroom today, I want you to go ahead and take a look at this quote on the board. And we're going to kind of reflect over this. You don't have to write anything down, but I just want you to kind of think about the quote. I freed 1,000 slaves. I could have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves. That's a Harriet Tubman quote. Just take a few minutes, think about that, and what do you think it means? Do any of you guys have thoughts on what it means?
Maybe the people didn't know they were slaves, or no, they didn't know. They knew they were slaves, but they didn't know what was gonna happen.
They didn't know what was going to happen? Okay, good, yeah. Mike, do you have any thoughts?
It's pretty much saying that some of the slaves, they thought they weren't slaves because they were getting work.
Okay.
And so they thought they were pretty much free, but in reality they weren't.
Okay. You know, one thing that I also think of with this, I think both of you are right. And, we'll never know exactly what this means. But one of the things that I think of is maybe slaves didn't know that there was another option. Maybe they only thought that being a slave was the only option. Harriet Tubman. Yesterday when we were talking about the Underground Railroad and the freedom quilts, one of you mentioned Harriet Tubman. Do you remember what Harriet Tubman did?
She freed she did the Underground Railroad thing.
Yeah, she was a big name in the Underground Railroad. So Harriet Tubman, she was born in approximately 1822. Well, this word right here seems awfully bizarre when we're talking about a birthday. Austin, when's your birthday?
1998.
What date?
September 23rd.
September 23rd, 1998. Mike, when's your birthday?
August 18th, 1986.
August 8th. Mine's April 30th, 1981. We know exactly when we were born. Why would Harriet Tubman's birthday be approximately 1822?
They don't know when she.
They don't know when she was born, but why do you think that is?
She was always
A slave. She was a slave.
She was a slave. They didn't care. They didn't keep records of slave births. They just knew, oh, here's another piece of property. You don't always know when you've acquired a new piece of property. You know about when you did, but you don't always know the exact date. And unfortunately, that's how slaves were treated. And she was born as Araminta Ross. That was her name. That was her birth name. So at some point along the way, not exactly sure when, her name was changed to Harriet. I believe it was Harriet Ross. And then she married somebody with the last name of Tubman and became Harriet Tubman. In 1849, so approximately how old was she in 1849?
No, she was 26, 25.
29-ish, 28, 29-ish. So yeah. Harriet Tubman escaped slavery and went to Pennsylvania, but later returned to help her family. So she was a slave in Maryland and escaped west to Pennsylvania. And she was free, but being free wasn't enough. She wanted to go back and help her family get out. Then once she helped her family get out, that began her involvement with the Underground Railroad. And from there on out, she helped thousands of people get to slavery, or get out of slavery, excuse me. So she kept going back. She kept sneaking in. And actually, one of the interesting things is there was something that I read that said they offered $40,000 for the capture, dead or alive, of Harriet Tubman. And to make that equivalent to today's dollars, that's $800,000. So that was how bad they wanted her. They were willing to pay almost $1 million in today's money to have her stopped, so that she stopped taking slaves away from the plantations. Didn't work. All right, we're going to talk about some feelings right now. How do you think the slaves felt about slavery? Anything?
Felt abused.
Abused? Do you think there could have been any positive feelings about slavery?
Okay.
Oh, freedom.
Freedom?
Oh, yeah, because after they got ousted.
Okay, so we'll put wanting freedom.
Yeah, what?
Now, if I'm in a plantation, I have a roof over my head, I have food, I may not be treated the best, but at least my basic needs are taken care of. If I go out and I take the Underground Railroad, do I know what's ahead of me? No, so there may have been some sense of security. Because it was the life that they knew. All right? Good. Let's talk about their feelings about traveling on the Underground Railroad.
Unconcerned.
Unconcerned?
Yeah, because they don't know what to expect through it.
Okay. Okay. I was trying to think if there was another way to phrase that, but. All right, what else?
Scared.
Scared, yeah.
Excitement. Excitement.
Excitement, yeah, about what's to come.
Anxious.
Good word.
No, it's the same thing.
You can use, you could say like fearful, because that's, it's similar to scared, but they're different words. Terrified. Now, when they're traveling the Underground Railroad, they're on their way to freedom. So why would they have words like scared and terrified? Why would they have feelings like that?
Because owners can attack.
Yeah, they're worried about being caught. So that's the thing that's, and that makes, well, the anxiety comes probably from both. That wanting the freedom and being so close, and then also a little bit of anxiety about potentially being caught. What do you think they felt when they've reached freedom?
Relaxed.
Relaxed? Okay.
Overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed?
Happy. I wouldn't say happy, like, joyful.
Joyful? I think they were happy too. It's alright, we can use a couple words that mean the same thing. Just one more. Do you think there could be any lingering negative feelings?
Yeah. Because once they reach freedom, they might not have a job and they don't know where to go.
Mm-hmm.
Or they might feel bad because the other slaves are still.
Yeah. Feeling bad for the ones left behind. So we'll put uncertainty for what you said. Not having a job, not knowing what. Uncertainty. Can't spell today. And then, and maybe sadness is what you had said about those that they've left behind. Okay, good. You guys did a great job identifying the feelings that the slaves would have. Now we're going to talk about, or now we're going to travel the Underground Railroad. We have a play that we're going to go through that you get to act out a scene where Harriet Tubman is taking her family through the Underground Railroad. A couple things I want to talk about before we do though. Body language. What does body language mean?
How you're portraying your body through the play.
Mm-hmm. And how you're portraying your body during the play. So, if I'm standing there like this, what do you guys think I'm feeling?
Anger.
Maybe anger? Yeah. If I'm standing like this, What do you think?
Surprise.
Surprise, excitement, any of those things. So you want to make sure that the second, we're going to read through it once at our seats, we're going to read through it once up here, where we're acting it out. So you want to make sure when you're acting it out that the motions that your body is going through portray the words on the paper. You don't want to be all, woo, if you're talking about how sad you are that you've left your family behind. Movement kind of goes along the same thing. If there's 4 people in a line and you're talking to the person all the way at the end, you don't want to just stand here and necessarily just act it out here. You're going to want to move across the stage. You're going to want to move around and not be concrete footed to one spot on the stage. What does inflection mean?
You got a rash on your arm.
That would be an infection. What about inflection?
Like an impact you have on the play.
Oh, I like that. I like that word. What about, have you ever heard voice inflection?
Yeah.
If I'm talking like this, do I have any inflection in my voice? No, this is called monotone.
Excitement.
Right, showing excitement. So as your voice changes pitches, and when you ask a question, hey, how are you doing today? There's that inflection where if I say, hey, how are you doing today? And you don't necessarily know that it's a question except for the fact that I said how. So if you, so remember those 3 things as we go through the play, and we will be reading through that right now. All right, well, since there's only 2 of you and there are 5 parts, let's see. I will read the part of the narrator. Which one of you guys wants to be Harriet? Or do you want me to be Harriet, since that's a woman? Okay, I'll be Harriet. So then there's 3 boys. There's John, Benji, and William. So let's say, which one of you likes reading more, out loud more? All right, so why don't you play John and William, and then you play Benji. Sound okay?
Yeah.
All right. So right now we're just going to read through the script for the first time, and then the second time we go through, we'll get up and act it out. All right, so I will start as the narrator. Harriet Tubman is a slave in Maryland who will grow up to lead more than 300 people out of bondage over the course of her life. As a teenager in the 1830s, Harriet hates her cruel master and dreams of freedom. She also discovers that she has a special talent for sensing danger. She yearns for freedom. She learns about the Underground Railroad, which is neither underground nor a railroad. It is a secret network of people, black and white, who help slaves in the South escape to the North. When she is in her 20s, Harriet successfully makes it all the way to Pennsylvania. She is a free woman at last, but somehow her freedom does not seem so sweet. She is alone. Harriet knows she won't be happy until her family is also free. She hears her brothers are about to be sold to a plantation in the deep South. She has to act fast. Harriet risks her freedom and her life by going back to Maryland. After a long and dangerous trip, Harriet arrives at her brother's cabins. William's wife, Catherine, is there too. Who's John? All right, go ahead.
Harriet, you're back.
I've come to bring you with me to the land of freedom. We have to leave soon.
Harriet, it's freezing cold outside.
And Master will surely hunt us down.
In your
Oh,
words.
yeah. We can't make it all the way north.
I've done it myself, and now I have friends along the way who can help us.
We supposed to be having dinner with Ma and Pop. They've been wondering about us.
We can't tell Mom about our plan. She'll start crying and screaming, and then everybody will know I've come for you.
Why can't Ma and Pop come with us?
They are very old and can't move quickly. I will come back for them when I can get a horse and wagon.
You mean you're going to walk all the way to the north?
We will go however we can. We will run through the forest, sleep in bushes, eat berries, but we have to leave before tomorrow morning. Hours later, they are walking next to the road. Harriet senses that they are in danger. We must stop here and cross the river.
That's the wrong direction. I won't get in the freezing water. You're crazy.
You can't go back, none of you. They will whip you and make you tell them how we got away and who we stayed with. You will put everyone in jeopardy.
She's right, Catherine. We have to stay together.
Come on, follow me. Harriet starts to walk into the river. The water rises to her ankles, then her knees. Soon it's above her waist. Harriet keeps going. The others stand on the bank, watching in disbelief.
Harriet, we're going to drown if you follow you. Harriet, we're going to drown if we follow you.
Good. But Harriet has faith. Even when the water reaches her chin, she continues. At last, the river becomes shallow again. She reaches the other side, and the others step into the river to join her. We'll be safe over here. Let's sleep for a few hours in the tall grass. The next morning, they find a path that leads them back to the road they were on the day before. Look, the patrollers have been here looking for us.
How can you tell?
The grass has been trampled by horses. And look at the cigar butts. Harriet, if we hadn't crossed the river when we did, we would have been caught.
After traveling for weeks, Harriet's group arrives in Pennsylvania. They go straight to the Anti-Slavery Society.
Who's still?
Welcome to Philadelphia.
There you go, thank you.
We are mighty happy to be here.
I'm sorry to say that even though you are in a free state, you are not yet free. Why is that?
Because the fugitive slave law has been passed. Any runaway slave who is caught, even up north, can be arrested and sent back to the south.
Where can we go to be truly free?
I will lead you all the way to Canada. Harriet brings her family safely to Canada, where they live the rest of their lives as free people. Harriet becomes a conductor on the Underground Railroad. She repeatedly sneaks back to the South to lead groups of slaves to freedom. Slaveholders, angry that their slaves keep escaping, offer $40,000 for Harriet's capture, dead or alive. That's equal to $800,000 today. But Harriet is not afraid. Even though her parents are old and feeble, she is determined to bring them north. She sneaks back once again to the plantation in Maryland. Harriet brought her parents safely north, but her bravery didn't end there. Harriet was one of the few women to fight in the Civil War. She carried a rifle and commanded a band of 9 men who were all spies for the Union Army. After the Civil War, when slaves were free, Harriet founded several schools for ex-slaves in New York City. She died in 1913 at the age of 92. All right, nice job. Now the next time that we read through this, we're going to get up in front of the classroom, we're going to push all these desks out of the way, and we're going to act out the motions as we go through this. Today, before you leave for your exit slip, I want you to pull out a piece of paper, and you're going to write down 2 facts that you learned either about Harriet Tubman, about the Underground Railroad, about slaves and how they felt, any of that. So go ahead and write that down, and you'll hand it to me before you leave today.